Okay, so in this video I want to talk a little bit about stepping outside your comfort zone. This is something that is really, really difficult for most everyone. But the simple fact of the matter is that if you never step outside your comfort zone, you're never going to know what you're truly capable of. Because most people just, and I'm no different. We find a place where we think we can just kind of slip into the cracks, I guess. And we figure that if I could just find that comfortable spot, like right here, then I don't have to put myself on the line. I don't have to risk that rejection. I don't have to risk, losing. And if our athletes had the same attitude, how would they ever win? And even if they did win, they could only really ever win at just one thing or just a few small things. And how would they ever improve? Because, going up against an opponent that you think is maybe stronger than you, better than you, that's how you reach to new heights of success and victory. And so this played a part in my decision because what I'm doing is completely outside of my comfort zone. This is not something that I chose to do because, I thought it would be easy, or I thought that I would just effortlessly succeed at. In fact, quite the opposite, because I've really spent most of my life not trying to be the most giving individual in the most ways that I could. If something happens right in front of me, or if something's brought to my attention, I have no problem pitching in or lending a helping hand, or even being the one that the weight of all of it is on me. But to take that step outside of what you're used to, going to a place that you're completely unfamiliar with, it's completely foreign to you. For most people, helping the homeless. Most people just walk right on by. They'll even step over them, step around them. Not even comfortable enough to be honest about their lack of interest in helping. Because they wouldn't push them out of the way, even though they feel like they're in their way, but they would step over them or step around them. And so doing this for me really comes down to not trying to succeed, but rather being left with the option of, do I continue to go down the road that I've been going down whenever I've seen where it leads me time and time and time again, reliably leads me to that same end. It was about me taking that step completely outside of my comfort zone and putting my trust entirely in the Lord in ways that most people would never even consider. Because who among us would just walk away from their whole life, and just give up everything that they know and have come to rely on? And I think this goes also to, the way that we speak to each other. Because when someone provokes you, your first reaction is, to dish it right back out to them. To not let somebody push you around or push you down or whatever. And it's really not about that. Jesus showed us, whenever he went through his trials and tribulations, that even whenever he stood before the people who were trying to execute him, he still stood firm in his beliefs, and he still was trying to teach us. He wasn't trying to, trying to get out of it. He wasn't trying to find a way to convince them to let him go or anything. All he did was speak the truth. And I think that that's important because so many times we're faced with a situation where we know that we could probably skate out of it if we would just lie, even if it's just a little bit, and so to hold fast to the truth and to hold fast to your faith, that really takes a lot of courage. And I want to emulate Christ in every way that I can. And I fall terribly, terribly short. I'll admit that because it's the truth. And I've really tried my whole life to tell the truth, even in the face of great adversity, even knowing that telling the truth is going to hurt a lot. And you're going to have to pay the price for your honesty. But if you truly want to grow as a person, you have to recognize that honesty is just a first step to growing, as an individual, growing spiritually and philosophically too, really. I mean, if you want to be able to, I guess, understand better what life is about and what you're about, then you have to be honest. Because if you can't be honest with yourself, how will you ever be honest with others? And so many of us lie to ourselves even, that it causes such devastation, and we don't even understand how much it just tears away at our foundation of ever being the people that God created us to be. Because we're so concerned with the things of this world that we think, well, if I tell the truth, they're going to take something away from me. But if I lie, I can put it in my pocket. And some people have just taken this to the point where it's, somebody drops $1. They don't even say a word. They just pick it up and put it in their pocket. And I've never been that way. So I suppose in that way it's easier for me as far as material things to let go, and that's why God put me to the test, and he says, just like he said to Abraham, I want you to give up your child. And Abraham waited a lifetime for a child. And by today's standards, I've waited almost half of a lifetime. And that's assuming that I'm going to reach 80, 90, 100 years old. But he said, don't question it. Just do as I tell you. And if you close your eyes and open your ears and open your heart and you listen to my direction and you take that step forward, not knowing if the ground is even underneath your feet, when you open your eyes again and look down, you will see that you're on the path that I made for you. So I hope this helps. Just sharing a little bit of the way I view things, and I hope that this is something that maybe people can identify with, and hopefully learn from. Maybe even if it's just not necessarily learning directly from me, but just me giving them food for thought, and think about it. And when was the last time that you stepped out of your comfort zone?